All right. What's up, everybody? We've got the beast, the monster, the Italian stallion, the man that people were underrating going into Katowice, but boy, did he deliver some banger games. REYNOR down here in the bottom right side, going into a Group B match up against none other than Max Angel ASTREA, America's finest, one of the most creative Protoss players out there, who appears to be going for a Nexus first. And this is why we love ASTREA, because he is always bringing out the special builds, the special tactics. And I actually think ASTREA matches up pretty decently versus REYNOR. He managed to beat him in one of the home story cups 3-2 earlier last year, as well as having some very close other matches where she ended up losing to him. I do, though, feel like because Australia's style can be a little fragile, it can get a little bit nasty. Now, this is interesting. He's opening this side. I feel like one of these, apparently you can fit Stalkers and Ravagers up, and the other side you can't. I don't actually know which side is which, but we'll see exactly what goes on here. Hatch gas pool for REYNOR. I know REYNOR does like the rich gas base. We've seen him take it a few times, and then break these rocks down to buy time versus enemy attacks if he needs to. ASTREA going Nexus, Gate, Gas. Should be transferring onto that gas pretty much immediately. He's got a lot of dudes on minerals there. This is interesting. The fudge is... What the hell is... Huh? He's like, yeah, I need the extra minerals to get the third Nexus started. And then I go on gas. Third Nexus, then starts mining gas, then gets a cyber core, and only then... I mean, there's greedy openings, and then there's this. ASTREA is an absolute mad lad. He's a little bit of a savage. Obviously, because of the way this build works, there's no reason to chrono boost probes early on at all. But now that his Nexi are coming up, and that's going to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked at all, he can chrono probes like a madman. He can also chrono his gateways and his tech if he wants to. He's going to be playing a techless style for a while. He's going to be trying to out-economy REYNOR. REYNOR hasn't got a third base yet, so if he can delay that third, that could be fantastic. But like I said, REYNOR doesn't mind taking that rich gas base. Looks like he's going to do it. Yeah, REYNOR has really been enjoying this map because he's like, dude, that gives double gas mining, that purple gas, guys. I'll take that any day of the week. And ASTREA with actually the greedier build. Now, REYNOR has no idea. He's like, oh, cool, it's Nexus first. He doesn't know that there's a third Nexus over there. But ASTREA's probably going to reveal it, I would imagine, in the near future. Now, he's chronoing an Adept, and then a Zealot out behind that Adept. I think that's a mistake. I don't think that's meant to be there. Yeah, no. Okay, he's going to go for a Sentry next to get some scouting. The Adept will go forwards across the map to have a little bit of a pokey poke. 3 probes building at a time. He's going to go for a second gateway and a third gateway in the wall, which is... interesting, very interesting. I guess he's going to open this up. So he says, well, I've got an opening here. I don't need an opening in my wall off. I'd rather have a full wall. And if there is a surprise attack, it's going to be much harder for you to actually kill me. The Zealot's going to move around. The Overlord's now seeing the third, so there's no sense hiding that anymore. And he's going for 3 gate. So it's 3 gate production. Sorry, guys. I didn't actually keep track of the Adept. Didn't really do anything. Just kind of had a poke around. REYNOR is on 33 drones versus 38 probes. He's not really going to be able to keep up in economy. The question is, how can he punish this? Does he just play defensive and try to beat him in the mid game with like Ravager Bane? I love this quick gas here for REYNOR. Yeah, he wants to immediately start mining off that. Very, very clever play. He's already got 1 mineral line. He's not mining the gas in his main. He's like, no, we'll just get on the rich gas. That's more than enough. But how do you punish this? I mean, there's no tech, there's no Stargate, all that good stuff isn't there. ASTREA will be scouting with a hallucination, and he's got a second gas now mining. He's on 46 probes. Forge and Twilight goes down to about 4 minutes. Overlord does come in and see that. So REYNOR sees how late the Forge and the Twilight is. That could trigger a response to either be super greedy, knowing that those upgrades are ages away, or be super aggressive. He's going to make a lair. He cancels a Spore Crawler in the main. And it does feel like REYNOR is trailing in the economy, but now that he's got that income advantage on the gas mining there, he's mining off just 2 gases, and yet he's mining at the same rate as ASTREA on 3. So that's kind of awesome. This Overlord does survive as well. That Overlord over there never died either. Shield Battery in the third. Robo now going down as well, and it looks like +1. Is it charge here? He's only got 100 gas, so could be charged. But no, he's waiting for 150 gas to go blink behind this 2 Stalkers and a Sentry. And ASTREA's going up to 66 probes, no doubt. He'll take the gases there as well. He's building a gateway wall on this third. Behind it, Overlord speed's on the way. REYNOR's stopped droning. Oh, I think we see what's up, guys. Creep through the middle. And look at that. He's already got a bunch of queens. 7 queens at the front, 8th queen on the way. REYNOR is going to be grabbing 8 queens into 2 Overlords. He's going to go drop them, and he's just going to go mass roach. The moment this Roach Warren finishes, And there was no way to scout this because the hallucination died a while ago. 13 roaches, 14 roaches. This is a giant queen drop roach ravager rolling. You might be thinking, why bother queen dropping? And I kind of agree in that the queens aren't going to be able to shoot up, but they're very good at tanking. And not only that, so you could just drop them in the main and drop creep and they can transfuse, but you can also then drop creep and put tumors down, which allows your non-roach speed roaches, ravagers, zerglings to be way more effective. So this is kind of like an offensive creep spread with this. Hallucination doesn't spot it coming. Observer will see it now, but it might be a little bit too late. He sees the army coming. 5 stalkers warping in. He's on 6 gateways. Is Astrea. Astrea's stalkers need to move around. That is not where he wants that stalker to be. Bit derpy there, and he needs extra batteries. He's building batteries here and a backup pylon, realizing that front pylon will go down in the near future. Hallucination falls, as will that stalker. More and more stalkers coming in. It feels like, I don't know, I kind of think Astrea should be able to defend this, but those queens are so bloody tanky, aren't they? They're getting up front and center. Nice trap. Oh, I like that force field. Traps a queen up front. She is basically wasting all the transfuses on that unit. The Stalker Sentry is here. Another force field or two could be huge. It's a lot of gateway units. Can Astrea defend here? The Ravagers and the Roaches get on the battery though, and that is crucial. One more force field holding it back would have been massive. Zealots warping in. The Stalkers and the Sentries trying to hang on right now. Massive army supply advantage for REYNOR, who's using that forwards creep to just cascade through the middle of the map. Immortals trying to build. Stalkers and Sentries trying to hang on, but they are out of force fields. More Zealots warping in. He's lost his Cybercore, which is a huge problem. He needs more Stalkers. +1 is finished. Blink is now finished as well, so Astrea can try to micro his heart out. But without a Cybercore and without the ability to build an Immortal, this is such a big problem. So much money is tied up in that right now. And REYNOR just going for a vicious shove. Remember when he was world champion, guys? It was off the back of Queen push with Roach Ravager Zergling. This is a build where REYNOR, if he's allowed to be greedy in the early game, he will overwhelm with vast numbers. The Stalkers are still fighting their hearts out. There's a battery in the third. If he'd built a battery back here, he'd be able to overcharge that now, and I think he'd be okay. I really feel if Astrea built a backup battery there, he could actually hang on. But without that backup battery there, he's going to be in trouble. Probe's trying to fight the Zerglings in the main. He'll be able to defend that eventually, but REYNOR is so good at microing, even in messy positions, and I don't think that Immortal's going to be able to pop out. It's going to go down just before it can pop, about 10 seconds short. Probes in the main do finally defend. He drops the DT Shrine. If he dropped that earlier, that might have worked, but no, there is a lair, so he can always make an overseer. I don't think the DT Shrine's going to be the Hail Mary that he thinks it might be. These Stalkers still trying to micro this out and get a good fight. But now that the Lings are able to go in the main, that's a big problem. He needs to build more shield batteries in that main base because he's going to be split defending both sides at once, and he cannot let those Stalkers get surrounded. Astrea's got to be careful. Stalkers pulling back on the left, on the right side. They blink back from the Biles. He's trying to move up and down, but Astrea cannot get tricked into attacking into this choke. He's got to be patient. And he's got to warp in more Stalkers in the main. He's warping all in on the right side. Huge mistake for Astrea. This is such a committed move from REYNOR. If he warped in more Stalkers and Zealots here, he might have been okay. He's now warping Stalkers from the right to the left side, but he's already lost a bunch of them, and no battery in the main is a big mistake. Against this push, you need to layer back those shield batteries on both sides, fall back, give up ground, and then fight back with it. The Stalkers here on the right side trying to pick off some of these Ravagers and Queens as they try to retreat. It looks like he's finally cleaning up the main base as well. He's going to blink after the Roach there, and we'll take that one out. A few Overlords are in the open. Could maybe get a few of those, but REYNOR is on 70 drones. Melee, Baneling speed, Roach speed, and a clear, beautiful, tactical follow-up for this. I love that his Queens managed to get home as well. That is ridiculous. 9 Queens on the map. 4th hatchery is now up and mining. And this is, of course, an Astrea who went to take a new base in the corner, and REYNOR literally dropped trowel and took a dump on that base and said, no, no, no. Let's blink to get out of there before those rocks collapsed on those Stalkers. Good pullback by Astrea. REYNOR wants that Stalker, and he will get it. But a bunch of Zerglings do get trapped for it. The problem, of course, for Astrea is that this third is being rebuilt so bloody late. Gonna need to transfer workers down to that and start long distance mining. The Stalkers desperately trying to distract right now. He's trying to keep him occupied as the DTs move down the left side of the map. And REYNOR just said, hey, you know what? That heavy Queen defense, a lot of people used to think you could never use it for offense, but indeed you can. I love the way he did this. These DTs, though, need to get in there, man. He needs damage right now. He's doing a good job of distracting on this right side. Is Astrea. Look at that. Grabs a Roach, grabs a second Roach. So 2 Roaches just for micro. Most importantly, trying to pull him out of position. This is going to need to be a sick response for REYNOR to deal with this. DT is going into each base. Astrea's trying to hit. He's going to hit 2 mineral lines right about the same time. Bam, bam. But already pulling the drones on that base. This DT not focus firing, and it gets taken out by the Overseer. DT in the main is doing some damage. Those drones not being pulled. Oh, he's getting a little bit of damage. Stalker's distracting on the front. I love that move to keep REYNOR occupied, but then REYNOR pulls these guys away as well. 8 drones go down, and it looks like that DT is going to fall. Bit of mining time. And 8 drones is not worth it for 3 DTs. Not when you're already this far behind. Even though the worker count looks okay now, I think Astrea's a little bit too slow on the Robo Bay. You need to realize that after that push, he's always going to have a way bigger army than you, and he's going to come across this map. If Astrea was already building disruptors now, I would believe in the comeback. As it is, he's got to be like, please re-drone and just lick your wounds for a bit, REYNOR. REYNOR's not doing that. REYNOR's happy to sit on even workers, make an immense amount of Banelings, Ravagers, Roaches, and Zerglings. And he's got his eyes set on smashing into Astrea's base. Batteries trying to go down. Robo base still not finished, and the army's already here. That DT cleaned up by the Zerglings. Zerglings on the left side pushed back by these Stalkers. +2 will be finishing in about 10 seconds. So it will be ready for most of this fight, but that cannon already getting biled down. The battery trying to heal it up as best it can. Oh, I wouldn't have minded Astrea dropping a battery overcharge and blinking some Stalkers over to the right side. Banelings? No, that's Lings on the left side. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Ravager Bane is just going to smash through. REYNOR says, numbers? Have you heard of numbers? Astrea's like, that's disgustingly inefficient, smashing these Banelings through these Stalkers. REYNOR says, efficiency? What? Ask your mum about efficiency. REYNOR says, that doesn't even make sense, bro. Astrea says that, sorry. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Point is, it doesn't need to be pretty. REYNOR basically chucks a Sue, grabs his Banelings, smashes them into the Stalkers. He says, my army's triple your size. Nothing you can do here. And the Robo goes down. That was the only thing that could build the comeback units, the Disruptors. Eddie gets absolutely wiped. This is a beautiful push that REYNOR did to punish. I really felt Astrea's setup should have been rock solid against this sort of push. And I think this is a frustrating game for him where he goes, seriously? That dies to that? His opening was so efficient. He had 6 gateways pumping in Stalker Sentry. But I think he just needed to layer his shield batteries backwards and non-stop warp in those Stalkers. And he just might have been able to hold on. REYNOR, though, hitting a vicious push there off his own very greedy opening. I love the way he used the rich gas. And a very surprising push, which Astrea only saw at the last second. All right, guys. That was a pretty nice win for REYNOR, but Astrea's going to fight back here. He's going gate gas. He's come over with an early probe on Babylon. Forces the front 3rd base. He's going to rotate around there. See how annoying he can be? Just trying to occupy those mineral patches. Pretty good micros so far by REYNOR. Oh, not the best though. REYNOR's drone's starting to get bounced around all over the shop. Good micro by Astrea. REYNOR's losing this micro battle. Not something you say every day, but Astrea was doing a good job of occupying 2 patches at once, being very annoying. REYNOR now counter-microing it very well. Nexus goes down right on 400 minerals. And Astrea still being a little bit of a pain, but REYNOR's doing a good job of counter-microing it and keeping his drones stacked up. You can always tell if REYNOR's losing it because his drones will start running away from where they're mining. And even there, only now is properly doubled up on those patches. Let's see if he can keep that going. And yep, he's grabbing these drones and counter-microing very well. Really good job by REYNOR. Behind this, Cybercore goes down. 2nd Gas Geyser, and the Overlord for REYNOR comes in. Now, a lot of these maps do not have a great pillar to sit on above the natural. But there's a lot of space around the back and the edges where you can potentially get in there. You can go down around the bottom. So the thing is, on these maps, you can kind of fly straight through the main and out the back of the base just fine. It looks like REYNOR is not too keen to risk that. Wants to keep an eye on if adepts get chronoed across this map. And behind this, it looks like Ling Speed actually not going to be started up straight away. That's interesting. Astrea saw him pull off gas as well. So if Astrea wanted to, he could double chrono adepts and actually have a very good chance of getting damage because this is about a 20-second delay on Ling Speed. Yeah. There we go. Doesn't start till 2 minutes 30, which means it won't be done till about 3 minutes 50. Say 3:47, I would guess. And behind it, Robo, Astrea. All right, bringing out the push. I mean, this is a small map. If there's a map you're going to do a ground-based push on, this is it. Neither player has killed the Urubu in this match, which is good. You got to be careful. Anyone who hurts the Urubu will be cursed forever. Urubu, who are you? That's a funny looking creature, isn't it? Especially the way it waddles around. Like, it doesn't really fly, it just kind of hops. Oh! Astrea not able to get a drone. Does force a spore though, not too bad. Ooh, Ooh, Stalker almost gets the Overlord, but not quite. That's a little bit of a bummer. And the Adept will come home now. And he's going to go Robo Bay. Okay, so he's going Robo Bay, second Gateway. So it looks like it's going to be a Disruptor drop build here for Reynor. Sometimes that goes into a 2-base Colossus all-in. Sometimes it just goes into a 3rd base. Man, it's kind of scary doing this for Reynor. I feel like Astrea is a very brave guy to go for such a build, but just because Reynor's micro is so good, I don't know. 2-base all-in could work on this map, though. Roach Warren is there. What the hell? What? What? Second Robo. Oh my god. Astrea is such a troll, I swear. This man is just made to troll. He does not play real StarCraft. He's going double Robo. He's got a Prism. So he's going to go for a 2 Adept drop. He should run the Stalker out to kill this Overlord. Would be great right here. Oh, he's going to fly over that Overlord. Go for the 2 Adept drop. Behind this, he's going for the Disruptors. Oh, this is adorable. This is such a fun play. Now, double Robo is very weak to Muters, but if your opponent is delaying their lair, they can't go Muters. If you go double Robo on 3 bases, like I like to do, it's very weak to Muter swaps. But a lot of players like to do it that way just because, you know, I like to go single Robo so they can be more solid with getting their timing attacks going. In this case, a second Prism? What in the fudge? A second Disruptor, a second Prism. Like, what in the fudge is this? It's 2 gates. It's a 2-base build for sure. He's going 4 gates. Double Robo. What the hell? Is it mass Disruptor 2-base all in? This is absolute insanity. He comes in, gets a drone, forces a Spore Trip, gets out. He's doing a good job with his Prism of being annoying. Reynor's played pretty conservatively. Built some Roaches, built some Queens, built some Lings. He's now going OV speed, cancels OV speed. Observers set up between his bases, seeing everything. And that Prism's going to come across the map with these 2 Disruptors. I like that he's not bothering with Prism speed. I don't think you need it. Very expensive upgrade for limited utility. Looks like those 2 Adepts are hiding in the very top of the map. Overlord sees it, so the Lings could come clean that up. But Reynor doesn't seem to be paying attention right now. Okay, now he is. The Lings are headed up there. Astrea, sorry. He better get out of there. 5 gateways on the way. And he is going to go Prism speed now. Okay, what the hell? And he's waiting for another Disruptor. Look at this. He's going to fly across with a second drop. So he's going to have 4 balls. 1 man, 4 balls. This is a disgusting strategy, Astrea. I don't know how this works, though. Oh, Disruptor shots. He gets 2 drones and a bit of mining time. Nothing big. Just a tiny bit of damage on the first one. So Roach speed's on the way, which is huge. Now, what Reynor needs to do against this is he needs to backstab. He needs to just defend with Queens and Lings, and he needs to try to sneak around the army and do either a surround or counterattack with a lot of Roachling. But there is now 2 Immortals coming in as well. Balls coming out. They go flying. Only 4 kills there. Not bad. Not game-ending by any means either, though. And look at this now with the Prism speed. He can dance in from all sides. The Overseer sees this is an all-in. Reynor is on 59 drones. He's going to be doing nothing but Roaches, Lings, Queens from here. He's trying to make a Baneling nest. I think he thinks it's the Charge Lot Disruptor all-in. He doesn't realize this is double Robo. He's like, wait, what? Is this just 4 Disruptors and Zealots? He's thinking about Zealots because Haas has a Disruptor drop Charge Lot all-in. But this is not that. He does not need the Baneling nest. He's building 3 more drones right now. Reynor is so confused at what the hell is going on that he's about to meet 2 Immortals, 2 Disruptors, a pack of Stalkers warping in, some Adepts, and he's got also the flanking Prism drop. Roach speed is done now, so it's going to be hard to catch him, but you know Astrea's looking for a surprise ball on that Roachling army, and he's got these. Oh, careful for it, Reynor. Reynor's, he can get flanked. This is really scary for Reynor. You gotta watch out for the flanking ball. The flanking ball could be huge. Oh my god, Astrea is doing the nasty right now. Oh my god, Astrea. Oh, smashing damage there. And he can just warp it a couple units at home. He'll be just fine. Battery goes down. The Roachling does start committing. And it looks like he's going to recall 4 Stalkers. Okay, that's a lot of units to recall, but better safe than sorry. And he will move those forwards and start taking out the Roaches and Lings. I think he'll be all right there. Disruptors coming forwards. Can he get the Ravager? Does eat one of those corrosive biles. And those Disruptors, when they start throwing those balls deep in the enemy base, that could be big. There are Lings in the mineral line of Astrea back home. He's very distracted right now. He could struggle with that. The Roaches died, but those Lings are still being very annoying. Oh, Disruptors do so much damage against the Queens. Another Disruptor shot goes forwards. 1 Disruptor does go down, but these shots are so dangerous. Oh, Reynor with the beautiful spready, but the shots will not end. And oh, that was a big one. His Roachling didn't quite pull that up. But back at home, he survived with his probes pretty much intact, has Astrea. Oh, another one gets focused down. Astrea with a slight bit of miss micro, but he's still got 2 Disruptors. He's going to have to start rebuilding those if he wants more. He takes out the 3rd base, which is huge. The Disruptors trying to refill. There we go. They're back charged and ready to unload. REYNOR trying to back off right now. He's got 18 roaches, 5 ravagers. I think if he can surround this army, maybe he can do it. We've got more stalkers coming across the map. He's left nothing at home. And REYNOR's actually going to go for a backstab with those roaches. That's a big pack of roaches. He's got the biles trying to zone him out here. Double prism on the front line. More stalkers warping in. The disruptors are ready to punish. Nothing at home except a wall-off. A wall-off will buy a few seconds of time, but he's going to need to use all of his warp-ins at home. No recall available. This could be a game-winning move for REYNOR. REYNOR is going to put the pressure on there, but oh, another queen gets hit by a disruptor, and this one is very far forwards. Gets a ravager. Nice pickoffs, but he's got to be careful not to let those disruptors get trapped up front. Roaches are in the main. 2 disruptors just rallied straight past them. This game is an absolute poop shoot right now. The thing is, remember, it's Astraea with the bowling balls, and it is REYNOR who right now is playing the pins. He has to avoid these. He's got to force Astraea to get some gutter balls, and I'm going to say, mate, we all know that bowling is the national pastime of America. It's their national goddamn sport. And Max Angel hails from America. He's going to use his patriotism and the power of the bald eagle to land these shots. I can just feel it. Oh, Kenny actually is eating some big biles. He's also lost 17 probes. His economy's down in shit creek right now. It's not doing that well. The roaches are ruining his economy. He does get a disruptor shot. He gets another ravager. Oh, another 2 ravagers go down. He's got 4 balls on the front line. Those extra disruptors he rallied out is huge. If Astraea caught those 2 disruptors with his roaches, I think he could have won the game. But now he's just a sitting duck. He's trapped up a ramp. And he realizes he does not want to play any longer as the bowling pins in this one. Astraea's balls on your face does not feel good after a while. And Astraea there pulling out one of the most legendary builds. That was so cool, dude. That's a big 2 base all in. 3 times more efficient than his opponent. And his disruptors were just getting massive hits. Sick play from Astraea. All right, fighting back in style like he's known for. Max Bloody Angel representing Alpha X. It's Astraea. His opponent in the top left, it is, of course, REYNOR. Representing Kaizi Gaming. And is that probe early enough to block it? Just barely. REYNOR has to go take a third. Now he follows it. Yeah, that's a bit risky. And REYNOR's going to go out to that right side, take this third. I do think this third is far better than the other one. I really wonder what the styles are going to be this game, though. I definitely think Astraea is more prone to wanting to play a macro game. I think REYNOR loves macro early and then wants to explode in the mid game. Now, the one thing you can count on against REYNOR is that his late game in this matchup is nearly non-existent. He is a mid game monster, but he will never make a hive. Like his hive, even when he makes it, he doesn't even do anything with it other than make adrenal glands and like +3 melee. So he's big on just Baneling run-bys, Ravagerling Bane pretty much every game. And the thing is, I feel like as good as REYNOR's early game is and his aggressive timings, and it's nice that he's decisive with just overwhelming with Bane Ravager, he's also a sort of player who I think really gives way too many opportunities to Protoss players. Like when he's behind, because REYNOR doesn't have a very good late game in this matchup and is just averse to going to it, it does simplify the Protoss' mid-game plan, where I feel like you can basically just say, stop Baneling run-bys, and then get close to Max and kill him with Archons and Disruptors. Because he's so weak to Archon Disruptor, because Ravager Bane just sucks against Archon Disruptors, right? Disruptors get any big clumps of Roach Bane down, and if you can't clump up your Roaches and Ravagers to deal with the Archons because of the Disruptors, well, Banelings kill everything else. Or Archons, sorry, kill the Lings and the Banes and everything else. So I really feel like that's the goal. And I always say, yeah, it should be simple. And then I watch games and REYNOR just gets Banelings into Mineral Lines time and again. And you're like, okay, maybe it's not that simple. He's really good at just knowing when to hit right when the Protoss player looks like they're about to get established. But hold that thought. This game could be over much quicker than that. We've already got 2 workers pulled off gas and a very quick Twilight Council. 1 Adept coming out. Is he going to double chrono? Double chrono that shiz. You know you want to. Show us that double Adept pressure. Hey, all right. Double Adept pressure coming across this map. Probe's going to have to pull home. And a 3rd hatchery is already on the way. Nice creep tumor to start getting a bit more control towards the center area. And this Adept is going to go down that right side. There we go. Shade is going to come in there. Not going to be able to get that tumor in time, but he will run in there anyway. Fallings, he's got to pull back. Oh, Astraea, careful. Hey, he gets a Zergling. Not bad. Very nice micro. 2nd Adept shading forwards on this map. Robo does come in behind it. And, of course, a 2nd gateway. That looks like pausing in probes is Astraea right now. So he's going to go 2nd gate, 3rd gate. Do we also see a 4th gateway before he resumes probes? Nope, just 3 gate for now. These 2 Adepts still veering around. Nice Queen focus fire. Does get the shields off that Adept. And you can see here that REYNOR can't rally drones to the 3rd. So he's oversaturated in the main a little bit. Nice pressure. Forcing out a few more Zerglings. Gets a creep tumor. The Adepts are going to shade backwards. Reynor did a good job of not overreacting. He only built 4 more Zerglings, which is not too bad. Now, Glaives and 4 Gateways are on the way. Warp Prism starts up. And Astrea's doing a pretty good mix of economy and everything else. That Stalker will come out, get a few hits on that Overlord. And I imagine he flies his Prism over to help finish it off. Maybe, maybe not. Ooh, Overlord coming in the main. Stalker could get a kill on that. That's a big pickoff. Oh, Astrea. Easy pickoff. Very nice. I don't think there'll be DTs with this. This looks like just a pretty committed 4-gate Glaives attack. Maybe go into Disruptors behind it. Something like the 2 Disruptor drop plus Mass Adept attack can be very effective. That Overlord does go down. Overlord on the natural still getting good vision though. Roach Warren is on the way. 5 Queens are out. 10 more Zerglings. So he's going to go up to about 15 Zerglings. And then Roaches only coming out much later than that. That was only a 4-minute Roach Warren. So he doesn't have a very quick response to this. Building a pylon here. I wouldn't mind 1 more pylon for Astrea. Because he's already building the Observer, he actually doesn't have the gas to make 4 Adepts right now. But I guess he's probably mapped this out pretty well, I would imagine. He's got enough gas for 3 Adepts right now. He needs just a little bit more gas. And there we go. 1 more Adept can warp in. That's a lot of Adepts right now. That is 13 Adepts. That is a lot of Adepts. Now, you could just kill the Queens. He could just kill the Queens. And he could actually commit to this Shade as well if he wants. He gets the Queen. He could cancel and go for those guys. Or he can just go on up. Yeah, nice commitment. Already the drones on the natural getting evacuated, but Roaches are going to start to pop out. I think Astrea's got a pretty good fight here. Another Queen looking like she's going to go down. Gets a Roach, and there we go. Just going to clean up some of these Zerglings as well. He could cancel the Shade, but no, I think the Shade was an okay idea. 4 Roaches there, though. Ooh, 4 Roaches, though. Okay, he's going to have to get out of here now. Cleans up a few more Zerglings, and does get on out towards the 3rd base. Oh, no, 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 no. Reynor's in trouble. Oh, no, Reynor's in big trouble. Oh, 7 drones go down just like that. A snap recall. Only loses 1 Adept before going down. That was a brilliant play by Astrea, who's now taking this 3rd. Now, this 3rd over here is, in my mind, the far inferior 3rd to this base. I really feel like this 3rd's better, but I guess this wide open area is why Protoss players don't take it. That's more of a choke point. To me, I feel like you got to deal with this giant area out front this base. And Immortal is on the way, which will help deal with any Roaches that come across. Behind it, casters are there. And of course, Shield Battery in the 3rd. Robo Bay does go down. Still feels like Astrea is in a pretty good position here. He split 2 Adepts to the top right, which could try shading in there. Observer sees these Queens respreading. Reynor quick to recover his economy, but that lair is very late. So there's no real threat of Mutalisks or anything like that so far. Those Adepts are going to commit in. Gets 1 drone, 2 drones. And makes it 3, not too bad. Oh, could get 4. Not quite. Immortal is on the way right now. What do we got? Robo Bay as well. Is that the 2nd Immortal? There's a lot of chrono on those Immortals. And 4 more Adepts. Okay, yeah. I was wondering. I was like, what is Astrea doing? He's going to do another attack. He's going to do an Immortal Adept attack. Adepts come into the main. Oh, careful, boy. I don't know if he got another drone or not. Total of 10 workers killed this game. Good defense by Reynor. He's getting melee. Baneling Nest. Working his way towards a more standard situation as Reynor. I do still feel he's on the back foot. I think Astrea's in a pretty good spot. But you might be looking at the supply and think, wow, Protoss ahead on supply. That's really good for them. No. This is not good Protoss supply. This is Adept supply. This supply doesn't get good. Doesn't get gooder. Doesn't get better as the game goes on. So he's got to do more damage. Getting a cancel on the 4th is basically the minimum he should be looking for here. Clearing the creep and then rotating over there, not a bad move. He's adding a Forge and Disruptors, so he is adding some high quality units. He just doesn't have them just yet. I'd love to see him drop those Adepts in the corner and walk them in and try to pick off some units. The Adepts and the Immortals trying to do what they can. Forces a few more Roaches out and a Ravager to morph. And look at that, 2 drones in the 3rd base do finish their thing. 3 drones, 4 drones, really slick play with those Adepts. Meanwhile, 2 Adepts in the main base as well. Oh, I like this. Shades back to safety. Prism's going to have to move north, though, because the Queens are after them. And does save that for now. Overseer's inside his base. We've got Disruptors on the way. Stalkers are going to come in, as well as Blink and +1. The Overseer will go down. How many gateways are we up to? 4 gateways, about to be 6 more Adepts sneaking out the side. Reynor, though, is so good at just surviving and hanging on here, and he's at 71 workers. And I do think Astrea missed an opportunity to kill that 4th base. I think if he killed that 4th base, Reynor would be a lot more desperate right now. As it is, I feel like this is a pretty good position for Astrea to be in. The only weakness is that he's on Blink Stalkers, which we know can be a fantastic unit when they're used excellently, but their stats are kind of crappy. It's all about their positioning and how they're supported by the Disruptors to make them an effective unit. I like the Observer here, seeing what's going on. Adept's thinking about shading into that base. That's a good call. You know the Lings are kind of down here on the right side of the map, so you both intercept that and shade in at the same time. There are more Lings popping out very quickly, though, and just gets 2 drones for 2 Adepts. Not the best trade. 2 Adepts on the left side could walk in as well. If REYNOR spreads creep there, he will see it. Is that the 3rd Disruptor? 4th Disruptor's on the way. So it's going to be just 8-gate Stalker Disruptor, which is not a bad style. He's going to go to a 4th base, but that Nexus is right there. Don't let that get cancelled, buddy. Those Adepts do get cleaned up on the left side. Other Adepts come in. Oh, definitely shade some Adepts onto those Banelings would be nice. He lets his 4th get cancelled. Exactly what I'm talking about. I'd like to see Astraea dictate a little bit more. He's doing a good job with these Adepts of just trading off for drones. 5 drones for 2 Adepts is effective. And he's got the Prism there as well. I wouldn't mind him just keep warping in pairs of Adepts and do this all day. But he's got more Adepts over on that side. He's warping in Zealots, funnily enough. And I don't know if that really makes sense. He's going to start charge at this stage. 4th Nexus is on the way. Still no Archon tech in here. And I mean, he's on 6 gas. You can see he's starting to bank up that gas. I think this is the point where you'd want to go Templar Archives with charge normally. Also, only 7 gateways, not the 8 gateways that I thought it was. REYNOR has a large army, but REYNOR's economy has no progression. I mean, he's just like, okay, I'm on 4 bases trying to take a 5th, but like, it's 4 mineral line of Lingbane Ravager. There's not that many Banes just yet. Yes, they have Baneling speed, but it still feels like it's a very good defensive force for REYNOR. It's not going to scale well. Templar Archives is on the way now for Astraea. Going to blink forward and does take out a few of those Zerglings. He's just got to be real careful with his Disruptors. This creep spread so far forward, that gives REYNOR some nice mobility, and he's even spreading Roaches to attack the natural, which could be a very good move. Disruptor does throw out a shot, gets the Zerglings, but that does mean it gets cleaned up. Another Disruptor shot goes out, and look at this, the Ling Roach coming in. It's a 2-side attack here for REYNOR. He's going to backstab the natural. Maybe not the best surprise attack just yet. It's a good way of trading off Roachling and keeping your opponent distracted. That forces the attention to the right side. He's going to dive on the Disruptors. Oh, very nice move by REYNOR, who gets in the mineral line. He avoided with the Banelings. He dodges the Disruptor shots, clears out the whole mineral line. Stalkers may defend the natural here, but not without losing 23 probes. Oh, Banelings rolled in the 3rd as well. Oh, he rolled them down the left side as well. Now, Zealots may run into that base, but Charge is not quite done. He's going to get a Queen and a few Zerglings, but it feels like this counterattack is a little disjointed. It's got 6 drone kills, which is not that many. Astraea needs to hold down the worker key to rebuild. And as I said, there's 1 speed, 1 gear with REYNOR, and that is I make Banelings and I roll them into your worker lines, and he's done it again. But it's the positioning, the devilry's in the details. You know, a lot of it's like, wow, he just rolls Banelings and mineral lines. How do players keep getting caught? Well, it was the way he threatened the big surround at the front, did the Roachling, and then rolled Banelings through the left side down here, and of course split against the Disruptor shots and got some in the mineral line there as well. And really, he always forces the Protoss to react, and then suddenly those Banelings find the money. And look at the way his army's split right now. You can see he's got an army on the north, an army on the south. He's going to manually control these units very, very well. And whilst the probes are rebuilding and there's a few Archons and Disruptors coming in, it all relies on positioning and defensive focus for Astraea. Now, he should see this army, and he should be okay here. And if he can max out, I think he's fine, because Hive, remember, Hive is not that important. Here we go. Big attack coming in. First Disruptor shot was pretty good. The second one's already blown its wad, and that means he doesn't have too much left. The Archons are defending as well as they can. He keeps that battery alive for a while. Another Disruptor shot comes forward. Wow. 5 drones go down to Zealots as well. That was an important hold. I think Astraea's back in this game now. He kills 6 drones, wastes mining, damages the hatchery, and gets a fantastic trade on the right side. He's now ahead 3,000 unit resources in the units lost tab, and he's getting up above 70 workers. Now, REYNOR did build some more workers. He's at 86 drones and has a 5th mineral line. You got to be careful of that. Banelings on the right side. Banelings on the right side rolling in Astraea. He's distracted at the front by the army that's posturing with him. And oh no, he transfers probes right into the Banelings. Every time, this is how he does it. This is all REYNOR does. It's Banelings, 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 Banelings into the mineral lines. You've got to be ready for this. He does it every game, and oh no! Astraea accidentally goes back to work too early there. Lings on the natural going to take out the Cyber Core as well. Very frustrating there for Astraea, though. To be fair, he shouldn't really be making Stalkers. It should mostly be Archons and Disruptors at this point. Astraea's trying to rebuild, but Astraea needs to split his units up better. Notice right now, guys, he has his whole army there, but he's also got some units there and 3 Disruptors there. His army seems to be chaotically split. I'd like to see him just very manual, half an army there, and just manually cast the spells. I think right now, Astraea, though, he's up against REYNOR. He knows he's the underdog, and he feels pressure. And that's why you can tell he's a little bit tense in his play. Now, he actually could go kill him, potentially. This is a giant army of Archons. He's got 3 Disruptors in there as well. He could maybe push in. But if he's not going to push in, he needs to make sure he takes no more damage from Baneling run-bys. And you know they're going to continue. You know these are going to continue. The Observer should see it coming. He should be ready for this one. He doesn't have anything there. Oh my god. Okay, he's going to split some Archon Stalker over there. There's a big army on the right side. Reynor always doing things in two places at once. Oh, not a single kill for about 20 Banelings. It looks like a Ravager or two went down to a Disruptor on the right side as well. Astraea has a massive army advantage. And guys, the Hive's done. Guess what he did with it? Adrenal glands. Nothing else. Why? Because that's all Reynor ever does with Hive Tech. He doesn't make Broodlords. He doesn't make Lurkers. He stays on Lair Tech pretty much all game long. Even when he has his Hive finished, he doesn't really advance his tech. You've just got to hit him now with this maxed out 10 Archons, 4 Disruptors. I don't think there's any way Reynor can hold on against that. Lings on the left side. There is a Disruptor on that left side as well. I don't see any way Reynor manages to surprise him. Reynor's just trying to catch him out of position. He's digging for mistakes right now, but Astraea's almost maxed, and that ball is looking unkillable. He's a little bit disorganized there, but oh, Banelings. Good pull on the probes this time, only loses 7 of them. But Baneling running down the left side as well, trying to get in that base, and it looks like a pretty good pullback from Reynor there. He gets a big distraction. These Lings doing the Lord's work. Kerrigan very happy with that. Biles being avoided. I mean, it's kill time. Astraea can just go win the game. His army is so much better than Reynor's right now. If he just pushes, there's no way he loses this game, but it's easy for us to say that, hard for him to make that read. This army will never be killed by Banelings. 10 Archons, 1 Immortal, 4 Disruptors, 18 Stalkers. It is a Baneling killing army. No, not again! Oh, he rolls back into the Banelings again. Astraea with a little bit of a mistake here. Roach Ravagerling on the left side. He's trying to rotate up that side. He's going to go kill this corner base. Is Astraea, which is an easy pick-off. Question is, can he defend at home if he does that? Because he really only needs a few Zealots to actually kill that. This base looks like it will probably be going down. He's got some Zealots that'll make it at least a costly maneuver for Reynor. I'd like to see Astraea just, yeah, he should just keep pushing. There's no Hive Tech. And Disruptor. Oh, Reynor! Clutch Focus Fire. Lucky to not get punished. Those sort of moves can get punished by a Protoss player who's just a little bit quicker on the trigger with that Disruptor. Could be really careful as Reynor. Another Disruptor snipe on the backside. Reynor playing at 700 APM. What in the heck? 640 average APM versus the 450 of Astraea. Both players are spamming like mad. They are using rapid fire. They're using those keys to spam out commands very quickly. I think Astraea can keep going. He killed a base there. He can rotate around and kill this as well. Astraea's economy is not looking too flash hot. He obviously just wants to be careful. He doesn't want to overcommit with Disruptors, but I think what he really should be doing is Zealot dropping with the Prism. I know it's nice to reinforce the front, but I think Zealot run-bys are really huge to pull the Zerg's attention away. That's when your Disruptor shots land in a big way. Good spready there from Reynor yet again. I mean, there's no reason to let this base mine. He absolutely can push in and kill. I think Reynor's pretty dead here, but it's still such a good amount of Bile Micro, and he's so good at just surviving. Reynor's specialty in StarCraft is just hanging on for dear life. Astraea. Oh, he blinked in the wrong direction. Oh no, he should have blinked on those Stalkers, man. A few Zealots going to run in the north side. These Banelings are going to escape. Should have caught a few more of those. Should Astraea. Definitely should still be blinking on him right now, but he's letting them go. Archon Morph gets caught. That was 3 or 4 Archons going down. He blinks and gets maybe 1 or 2 Roaches, but he's dilly-dallying a bit too long. Astraea needs to force the fight because he's losing these small trades. He's still got a very scary army. I just want to see him move his army in and be a bit more patient with the Disruptors and use the Prism to juggle them into the front lines. Because at the moment, you can see he's really worried about losing those. 21 more probes go down. He's lost his entire economy. Astraea is still trying to rebuild Nexus and Disruptor count. He's still got 12 Archons and 4 Disruptors with +3 attack. And I'm telling you, man, if you're a Zerg player with Ravager Bane versus that, this is like charging a machine gun nest with a fork. Like a literal fork, like silverware, like cutlery, like something you use to bloody eat your meal. It's not a good situation to be in. These units suck against this, but Reynor's micro is so good, and he refuses to stand and take a bad fight. A few more units do go down there for Reynor, but he keeps just trying to pick off the Archons, run in, run out, trying to land these Biles with everything he's got. He's playing a great defensive game, and he's bought the time he needs. He's got Broodlords morphing, which is going to turn this around. Lings find the third base one more time. Reynor refusing to go down in this match, and Astraea hesitating a little bit too long. He's now going to try and push in here, but he's taken a little bit long to do this. I think he could have done it already. He's on 14 Archons, but the Biles, he's still being intimidated by the Biles. At the end of the day, it's 8 times 6. It's 480 damage. I'm not very good at numbers. I think I did that number right. But basically, 8 times 6, it's not that much damage. Even if you get hit by every single Bile, this is a giant tanky army. You can walk right through it. But now the Broodlords are here, and Archon does fall. Disruptor shots go out. He's got an Archon on that base. He's going to take out this base. I mean, he'll remove all of Reynor's mining bases. The problem is that now the Broodlords are there. How do you ever counter those? Maybe a Void Ray, but he never built a Stargate in this game, so we can't even make a Void Ray or two. That's a big problem. And you got Blink, you can make Stalkers, but they are not the best answer to it by any means. If you have Psystorm as well, it's a bit more viable, because then you can storm the Lings, the Banes down so quickly, you can Blink on top. He's thinking about going forwards, but no, that Archon up front getting very low. Broodlords with some very nice stutter step. He even focuses the Disruptor, doesn't quite get it. Disruptor goes forward. Oh, crazy moves for Astrea, and both of those Disruptors get snapped by the Broodlord Queen. Astrea, he's going to try and shove now. He's going to try and shove, but he's already used up most of his Disruptor shots. REYNOR's spreadies are pretty good. Finally takes a big hit to the face, but the Broodlords are standing their ground. No stutter step on the Broodlords is a little surprising, but there's just too many ground units, and Astrea missing his window, I think, to shove in. It's always intimidating because REYNOR is so good at hitting and running and pulling back and retreating. But the army quality was so much higher for Astrea, he needed to push in and force a fight. And once he got between those bases, Astrea would have been realizing he was in a situation where REYNOR had to stand and fight. And a bit of a mistake for Astrea. On the other hand, a fantastic series from him. I think he did really well. And if we go back to somewhere around here, maybe 13, 14 minutes in this game, you can see that even though Astrea had already lost 70 probes... Wait, he lost 70 probes at this point? Oh my god! How many probes did he lose by the end of this game? What? But yeah, I definitely think Astrea needed to go at some point here. There's too many of these moments where Banelings just barely slipped into mineral lines. A lot of near misses for Astrea. And when this army pushed to the top right, this should have been a push straight through the middle. Look how out of position REYNOR is. If this army went straight up that ramp, he has to fight backwards into Disruptors. He's literally dead. But Astrea was too cautious. He went for the easy pickoff in the top right. If he had the killer instinct to move this way and get up between the bases, REYNOR is 100% dead here. There's just no way you can test that much beefiness. 11 Archons, 18 Stalkers, and 4 Disruptors. This would have been a brilliant victory for Astrea, but unfortunately for him, the comeback kid just fights hard and finds a way to wizard himself back into the win column. GG, well played.